night, 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 6,392 miles on the odometer. It is today. We are looking at the map today, and we're at Tuesday, November 19, 2024. That is the date today. Welcome back to the Please Subscribe Show, and we're headed off to delivery. This house has a lock on it from Mexico, right outside, because I talked to the person that that bought it. It's a lock from Mexico, and they have artwork on the inside. From Mexico. I think it says it. Isn't that cool? Arezzo, Italy. We're in Fort Worth, Texas now, but he went to Arezzo, Italy. It's an artsy, small area. They were having a fair, some kind of art fair, and he was able to buy it then. And I talked to him about artwork in the Modern Art Museum in the MoMA in New York. When I lived in New York, he used to go to the MoMA. And then I mentioned the Modern Art Museum had this sculptor. And the sculptor, okay, so you'd walk up, I think Linda and I are in the actual vlog of the Modern. When you walk up, it's like this huge cape floating, or really being blown by the wind is what it looks like. The artist is from Texas Tech, if I'm not mistaken. He's a Texan artist. And he was exhibited. That's not his artwork. That's Arezzo. That's an Italian art piece that I was showing. But the one that we showed, I can't think of his name. He's going to Google it and see if he can find the guy's name. But he had it exhibited at the Modern Art Museum, and it's a cape blowing in the wind. And a dog has got his leg. No, it's not a dog. I told the guy it was a dog. It's actually a sheep, or it's a small lamb. That's why it's a small lamb. It's even more brilliant. It's a small lamb, and his leg is being pulled upward, like he's being lifted off the ground by this cape, like it tied around his leg. This is probably one of our most important artists, like, ever. He also has an artwork of a dying deer that it looks like it's been dead for a long time, and it's like lying there on the ground. But he had a few exhibited, and the idea was just complete realism and motion. It shows motion. Even the dying deer, there's motion in it because its skin is flat, and you can see the rib cage sticking out, and it looks like it's been dead for a long time, but there's still motion about it. Also, the lamb being picked up by this cape is lots of motion. It looks like it's been frozen in time, and it's brilliant. Can't think of his name. It's so far my favorite sculpture piece that I've ever seen alive, and it's there at Modern Art Museum. I don't know if it's there now. They're doing a new exhibit now. That's what I told him. And then I mentioned also Vegas. In Las Vegas, my second wife and I went to Vegas. We were walking on the sidewalk. Next thing you know, we see this lady. It looks like she's maybe like in Conan the Barbarian, and she's a wizard. And she's got this brown canvas draped outfit. Not really canvas, but maybe like potato sack kind of material. Ragged kind of robe, you know, like a wizard would wear. And she's holding on to a cane. And her legs are folded like a Buddhist monk, and she's floating in the air, mumbling like, and I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, look. And my wife goes, it's black magic, stay away. And we started to walk away, and I said, you know, if you know anything about Angel, I put a witch hat on her head when we went to Salem. This wasn't Salem, this was Vegas. But anyway, we were in Vegas, and she goes, it's black magic, stay away. I said, hang on. And so I stood there for a good time, you know, like 15 minutes watching this. Finally, they did an actor change, because they only are there for a little while. Well, they have to show everything on when they change to a new actor. So the lady that's sitting there in Buddhist style, you know, legs crossed in the air, floating like some kind of thing that you would see at the beginning of Birdman, levitating. She basically climbs down. Now, the drapery that she's wearing, or the rag clothing, it's like a robe. The robe that she's wearing drapes down to the ground. So when they move that piece, you see a PVC pipe going up and turning like an L, like this. And she's sitting on top of it, like you would sit on a tightrope or something. But it's like a PVC that's built underneath the robe into the clothing, from the pants all the way up under the pants. So it was not black magic. It was just illusion. But it was scary to look at, because they acted so well, and they mumbled, and they were like holding on to this cane and being suspended in the air by this, you know, supernatural strength or something. You know, like they're holding this cane, and that's all they were holding on to as they set maybe 4 or 5 feet in the air. A lot of them did, like 3 or 4 of them, and then people would just drop money in a basket, because they knew it was illusion. Ultimate Curly's gift cards. Come and get a hot dog. Also get custard. They got Christmas lights. Anyway, I told that guy about that stuff too. I said, yeah, Vegas has stuff cool and stuff like that. But anyway, that sculpture to me looks pretty lifelike. And I asked him, I said, this Arezzo sculpture that you have, you know, is that made out of stone? And he goes, no, it's actually wood. I said, because it looked like there's green moss on his back, like the stone will turn green like that. They painted that. He said, yep, it's made out of wood. So that's a wooden structure. It's a wooden, it looks stone. It looks like it's stone, but it's actually made out of wood. I thought this was a really cool art piece. It's a really nice guy. They turned the lights on. That's the monitor right down that way. The lights are off. It's a full-on set. They're filming something right there at the end of this road next to the police station. So the police station's right there. Let me get a map. The road's 5th. Must be a commercial. I'm thinking commercial maybe. Those are some pretty heavy-duty lights. Yeah, they're zoning that road right there. The cops are zoning it right now. So there's something major going on right there. And that's probably connected. Maybe even a crane right there. Yeah, those are some expensive lights. Probably either it's going to be connected to an indie film or a commercial. Right there on 5th. Right by couple blocks from Sonic. It could be a filming location for something. It's weird because they did the same thing when I was in New York, right down the road from my dorm. between Broadway and Park Avenue, 38 East 21st Street. 0.5 miles, 3 minutes, 6:46 p.m. Well, I talked to someone in the restaurant. I found out it's Yellowstone, and that means possibly Kevin Costner was right over there. And I said, listen, if Kevin Costner comes in, tell him that one of the New School University Actor Studio Drama School students wants to talk to him. My name's Cole. If you mention anything, I'm the one that talked about stereotypes in Hollywood. How do you address that issue? And then he gave me a long story about how all the Native Americans and the people that were on set on Dances with Wolves all met. And he had a long conversations about the horses or something, which, you know, Dean Lipton cut and didn't get on the show. I'm that guy. But anyway, regardless, I was going to pitch Cat Named Crook to him because I would step down from Hopper Head and take on the role of Bird. I'm already playing the role of Bird anyway. Bird's a YouTuber, and he's the one that catches Hopper Head. It'd actually be good for Kevin Costner, now that I think about it. Be a good little role for him. He plays this kid. So the guy's from Tennessee. And back in when cricket was becoming big, wireless, probably as far back when whenever the company started, okay? I don't want to get into dates where everyone's like, oh, it didn't start that day. It didn't start that day. You don't know what you're talking about. Cricket Wireless, whenever it started, he was big with the company. Like, you know, he was a big manager, right? That's how he learned about refurbishing cell phones, period, right? So he knows about, this is a cell phone, right? That's a cell phone, but it's also known as a smartphone. Eventually, he slipped away from Cricket Wireless and earned the nickname The Cricket. And he's also goes by Hopper Head, which is probably a false name. Now, he meets Kitty in a restaurant. She has a seizure. He sees her have a seizure, and she also speaks in tongues. She's also a mute. She doesn't speak at all, other than speaking in tongues, which is like, you know, which we don't really understand. It's the tongues of the angels. It's the language of the angels. Okay. So he knows that she would be a liability at the cafe or restaurant that he's in when he sees that everyone's crowded around her by the bathroom, with the bathroom doors open. They're like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? She sees it. And he hears all that while he's there. So he looks over, and then this one guy comes in and goes, yeah, give her room, back up. So they all kind of clear out that area because they're trying to find out what in the world's wrong with her. And she's sitting there speaking in tongues, and she passes out. And she's laying on the ground. So everyone eventually clears away. And like, you know, this one guy goes, you, call the ambulance. And he uses the dialogue ambulance too, by the way. You, right over there, call an ambulance. Because people say weird things too. They don't always say exactly what they mean. Regardless, okay? Regardless. What he does is he takes his phone number and his information, he puts it in her back pocket. And so basically when she wakes up, this is how the movie begins. She wakes up, she looks in the mirror and she realizes, you know, she wipes the mascara off her face and she realizes, you know, she just had a seizure. She's kind of upset. She's crying because she knows that, you know, she's going to be a liability to the company. And she reaches in her back pocket and then she pulls out this number. That's Hopper Head's number. That's how she gets sucked into the circle. It was originally called the Circle. I changed it to Cat Named Crook because I like that name. Also, it's possibly the Zirkle, and then another name that I was thinking was a Step of the Cat. And then I also like the Smartphone Thief, which is kind of like the pickpocket, Richard Bresson's. Or some say Bresson, some say Bresson. Robert Bresson. Anyway, you just have to, that's, the 4 characters are also in the notes, and I'll be writing that coming up here pretty soon. So, I think Kevin Costner would be a great opportunity. I did get to talk to him. He was pretty nice to me. He wasn't too mean. He wasn't too rude. Like Richard Gere was kind of I don't know. Richard Gere was kind of moody. Everyone was like, "Oh, Richard Gere was kind of moody when you talked to him," but he was just kind of he wasn't mean. He didn't start yelling or anything. And maybe these people right here. So the idea about it, if Kevin Costner jumped on, because I know Yellowstone, they were shooting Yellowstone right there, and I got some of the set. If he did join on, if he wanted to lay down some material and write it, I'm all for it. Some actors like to do that. Not the whole thing, of course. I would show him the plot lines, what I have now. I'd show him kind of what I want. Like it's a little artsy. There's moments where they use scope in. I know actors are very kind of basic when it comes to telling a story with the camera, but I want to be kind of Scorsese with it, you know. But there's moments where the camera will come in to kind of highlight something, like let's say a number, like a phone number, you know, or something, you know what I mean? Because it's what Rob Bressoon did. I don't know why I call him Richard, or Bressoon, the writer and the director of Pickpocket. But he did those kinds of things for one reason, is he used the actors as models so that he could tell a kind of an instructional story. It's not going to be that instructional, but a structural story about pickpocketing, like the ways that people do it, the little aspects of it. And there is a story, a Notes of an Underground kind of story. If you ever read Notes of an Underground, they're all the way from Arkansas. And it has that aspect to it as well. So mine may be more plot than Bressoon, but I have to go back and watch The Pickpocket too. I only got to see it a couple of times. I saw it once in New York, and I think I've seen it a few times since then, every once in a while. I might have rented it from Netflix back whenever. A long time ago with Netflix, you could order movies through the mail. That was when things were booming. Another thing, guys, too, Redbox is done. You can't get anything from Redbox. All the Redboxes now are run by hobbyists. I was going to say lobbyists, but they're run by people that are just basically wanting to keep it. That's why when you go to a Redbox and you check out a movie or whatever, it's an older movie, because they're no longer, they're decommissioned. So right now, you have to pay a pretty penny right now just to see a movie. They got 0.5, 2 minutes. We'll arrive at 7:22. Just yonder that way is where they're shooting Yellowstone. Taylor Sheridan, Kevin Costner thing. Little did I know, when I was at the Actor Studio Drama School at the New School University between 2001 and 2002, and Kevin Costner came. He was one of the early hosts. Of course, after the one and only Bruce Willis, who came on Monday, September 10th of 2001. The next day was 9/11 of 2001 in New York City. And who knows where Bruce Willis was, but he was there on the 10th, right there in the auditorium. I just looked up the name of that auditorium just the other day, and I never get it right. But I always, every single time, I have to look up the name. I always call it the Tishman or something like that, but I have to relook at it. Oh yeah, you can see some of the lighting. Yep, there's a crane shot right there. Look at the light coming up right through there. See it? There's 2 lights. These are work lights, probably, most likely, for the set. You probably can see some of it from the post office. They may have trouble. Yeah, there's some of the all that stuff that when I was driving through, I didn't know that was the cruise stuff. That's called the Bankhead. It's a restaurant. Down further, and there it goes. Bankhead's right there. Down further that way is another restaurant. I think Linda applied at it. That's the post office right there. Yellowstone's filming right there, which is, I believe, that's University. Right there, that's University. Going towards White Settlement Road. I'm trying to think, yeah, you can see some of the lights right there. I'm trying to think what's next to Bankhead. It's kind of a weird name. There's a Starbucks, but I don't think they'd be filming the Starbucks for Yellowstone. I don't know a whole lot about Yellowstone, to be honest. I know a little bit about some of the sequels. Harrison Ford's in one of the sequels of the Taylor Sheridan series. But he went to Pascal High School, which is way over there. I was talking about Pascal the other day. R.L. Pascal High School. He was kind of raised in the Fort Worth area. He was not born in Texas. So but he was kind of raised here as a kid. And then he did go to Texas Tech, maybe? Why am I going blank on Texas Tech? He did go to a state school here, a college, but he went to high school, R.L. Pascal, so I got that. Probably some of the crew and stuff are going over. That's a really nice liquor store right there. Linda and I have been in there and vlogged that. Anyway, all of those, I just was going to film a little bit of it. I didn't know what it was. That was all the lighting equipment, rigging stuff that they would need, probably computer stuff, stuff for the actors, trailers for the actors, all that stuff. Whatever restaurant they chose, they probably went in there and put lights and everything, redecorated everything, moved the tables around, probably got in other cooks to come in. Who knows? We'll have to find out for Yellowstone, so. Okay, Taylor Sheridan is Chapel Hill, North Carolina. My mom was just talking about North Carolina the other day. He was born there. They're doing Yellowstone right down this way. This is the 5 Point section of Fort Worth, or one of them. One of them is University, of course. Camp Bowie's going to go this way. This is Bailey right here. It's Bailey. Another point would be going down towards downtown area, which is the other side of Camp Bowie. You have Camp Bowie East, Camp Bowie West. Then you have University, same with North and South. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Bailey goes to the cemetery. Yeah, Taylor Sheridan is North Carolina. He's 1970 is when he was born. He went to R.L. Pascal High School. He was raised as a young kid right here in Fort Worth, Texas. And he came back here with Yellowstone. In 2013, he got tired of being an actor, so he started doing his screenwriting. He probably should go back to acting, too. I'd hire him in a heartbeat to play Hopperhead. He was a soap opera actor, or Kevin Costner, whoever steps in first. Look at this right here. Yeah, Hopperhead is a role that I may be casting or maybe playing myself. I've got to wait on a few clearance things, but it's my own creation. So I wrote it. I'm still writing it. It's loosely based on The Pickpocket by Rob Bresson. And I will be writing the screenplay first in a composite book. Then it'll go into this device, which is an iPhone 11. Then it'll go into another device, which we'll talk about later. This is probably Crescent Hotel, which is probably some of them are staying there tonight. Let's see something. I'm pretty sure it is Crescent. I'll find out. This is the Crescent Hotel, opened about a year ago, around December time. It's very nice. Very, very nice. I always park in this neo-noir alley right here, very much like The Player and Robert Altman's The Player. Look at this. Is that not great? Let me turn the lights off for a minute. Look at that. I don't know, I like it. If you get the right filters and the right camera, this could be an alleyway. It's very general. You can decorate it and paint and stuff like that. All right. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. Taylor Sheridan movie, Kevin Costner, Cole Hauser's in it, a bunch of other people. Looks pretty good. Take a photo of it? No, it's right here. That's the other one. Okay. All right. It's pretty neo-noir. I don't even know if it is a phone. Yeah, it is. It's an open phone. It's a freaking setup. It's an iPhone. Hey guys, right over here. You know, there's an iPhone right here. Just sitting there.
That's ours.
All right. Check this out. It's called the Crescent Hotel. That's a real fire. It's done with gas. Very, very artsy. They got this huge canopy right here. It's open space. Big time filming location. That even looks like a set right there. Look at that. Looks like a Hollywood freaking set, man, with these little windows, and then they look out their window and they have this view. It'd even be a cool apartment one day. I got something to say about this right here. Rear window, 100%. No lie. I mean, it could be turned. Called the dude at the lobby. Said he'd ordered it, but he was there. He needed a moment to get back. I don't know. I have all day though. He just left it at the lobby.